Welcome back to another session today at Best Choice Training. Today we are going to be looking at Unit 3, Principles of Providing Administrative Services. In the last session, we did look at Unit 2, Principles of Professional Behaviours, and today you are here because you are going to be completing the Pearson BTEC Level 2 certificate in Principles of Business Administration. So last time you completed the Unit 2 assessment workbook, well done. So what I'd like you to do now is reflect on what you learnt from the last session. So you have 15 minutes to discuss either individually in pairs or in small groups what you learnt last session. So just pause this video, this recording, and take 15 minutes to write down everything you learnt last session. And remember, all this evidence will be going towards your qualification and will be sent to your tutor. Thank you for completing that for me. So in this unit, you will learn how to develop your knowledge of a range of administrative support tasks. You will understand how to organise and administer different types of meetings. And you will also need to understand how to organise travel and the accommodation to meet the needs of the organisation. Brilliant. So what do you already know about providing administrative services? So what I want you to do is just spend some time and write down what you already know about principles of providing administrative services. So just pause this video and write down as many as you already know. Thank you for completing that. So we're just going to have a look at your learning outcomes, and they are to be able to describe the features of different types of meetings, outline the different ways of providing administrative support for meetings, and to be able to explain the steps involved in organising these meetings. You'll also be able to describe the features of different types of business travel and accommodation. You'll be able to explain the purpose of confirming instructions and requirements for business travel and accommodation. And you'll be able to explain the purpose of keeping records of business travel and accommodation. Then you'll be able to describe the features of a hard copy and electric diary system, so electrical copies there. Explain the purpose of using diary systems to plan and coordinate activities and resources. And you'll be able to describe the types of information needed to manage diary system. You'll be able to explain the importance of obtaining correct information when making diary entries. So just to summarise, an important function of administrative support is the managing of diary systems, and you will know the features and purpose of these different systems. As an administrative assistant, you will need to know how to use a variety of office equipment effectively and how to keep waste to a minimum when using this equipment. The use of mail services as a regular task also, and you will need to know the different services that are available and the factors to consider when selecting which ones to use. You will also need to understand the role of good customer service has on the business environment. Brilliant. So other learning outcomes you will be looking at as well are being able to describe the different types of office equipment, explain the uses of different types of office equipment, and describe the factors to be considered when selecting office equipment to complete tasks. You'll be able to describe how to keep waste to a minimum when using office equipment, and you'll be able to describe the types of mail services in the business organisation. You'll be able to explain the need for different types of mail services and also factors to consider when selecting these services. You'll be able to explain factors when also using to choose postage methods. You'll be able to describe the different types of customers, the impact of their own behaviours on the customer, and explain the importance of keeping the good customer service up to date. So now we're going to move forward to meetings. So as a business administrator, support for these meetings could involve arranging a location for the meeting to take place, providing documentation that is needed in the meeting. So do people need newsletters? Do they need briefings? Depending on your company, depends on what documentation they might need. Minute taking, so writing down what was said and by who. And then also after the meeting to be able to circulate the minutes to those who were involved, and also circulating those minutes to those who were unable to attend. So why do we have these business meetings? So we have formal meetings, and these will have a notice of the meeting sent out, an agenda to follow, formal arrangements for travel and accommodation if needed. I know a lot of things are working from home at the moment, and also it will have the minutes taken. So your different types of meetings will include staff meetings, and these are the most common types of meetings within a work environment. The managers and supervisors call these meetings, and his objectives is to keep workers informed on the current issues affecting them on their work, as well as those affecting their departments. If there is a significant issue or policy change that affects the entire organisation, the staff meeting is the right forum to unveil the information and explain the changes to the employees. Appraisal meetings is also a form of staff meeting where supervisors and managers hold one-to-one meetings with workers, and this is to review their work performance and their targets that constitute the basis of a salary review and assessment of individual training needs. There might also be sales conference meetings, and it's another common meeting in a company with significant number of sale agents. As we all know, most sales representatives spend much of their time working alone and often out of the office. Holding this type of meeting on a regular basis forms an excellent motivational and communication tool that brings them together with other companies' employees. During these meetings, sales managers can launch important initiatives like major advertising campaigns, the announcement of a new product, and even communicating organisational sales plans for the subsequent financial year. Another type of meeting is information sharing meetings. So these meetings are one of the most important types of meetings in a business communication. As the name suggests, it is all about informing participants about a particular issue, or rather sharing crucial information. In most cases, this type of meeting is often educational, such as panel debates and seminars. To hold a successful information sharing meeting planners need to keep participants engaged. The primary challenge of this kind of meeting arises when organisers invite outside speakers who in most cases have had a hard time trying to ensure the information shared is personalised to the organisation. Nonetheless, in the next meeting, attendees should be asked to provide speakers with some feedback about the previous session, and that way information sharing sessions become active and efficient. There may also be innovation meetings, and these can be considered as one of the types of private meetings that often begin with thinking outside the box by associating, brainstorming, and more importantly, sharing ideas on a wider scope. Innovation is the primary key to success for every organisation, and this explains the type of meetings, and it's held quite often. For innovation meetings to be productive, 3 things need to be done right, and it is to take notes, follow through, and everyone needs to participate. Those attending the meeting can have several processes and techniques to express their ideas to come up with focused suggestions. We can use through evaluations, decision making, and ranking, and the most suitable ideas and tasks are identified, and recommendations stated for further action by the company management. There also may be team building exercises, so team building meetings here. Team building meetings are among the most common 5 different types of formal meetings often held in the workplace. Even though all kinds of meetings are discussed earlier to contribute towards a corporate culture, strengthening the relationship and team building are specific meetings designed to focus specifically on team building activities. This category includes meetings such as kick-off meetings, all hands meetings, corporate events, and team building outings. It is necessary for managers and supervisors to note that having their participants feel like they're critical parts of their team, unit or branch, department, and company as a whole has a positive impact on the workers' performance, satisfaction, and of course on their performance. So how would you organise a meeting? So what I want you to do is spend some time thinking how you would organise your meeting. Brilliant. So we would first start by thinking about planning the meeting and what is the purpose of the meeting? What are the timings of the meeting, and whether you need to find a venue or not, whether it's on Teams. Have you sent everyone out a Teams invitation? So let everyone know. Find people key roles as well, so delegate. Make sure you're meeting different needs of people. So whether they have internet, whether it is face-to-face, nowadays it needs to be social distance. You need to make an agenda and make notes during the meeting. And you also need to set up the room. If not, it will be Teams meeting. And things to bear in mind, different activities and facilitation tools. Brilliant, we're going to move on now to this next one. So describe the features of different types of business travel and accommodation. Explain the purpose of confirming instructions and requirements of business travel and accommodation. And explain the purpose of keeping records of business travel and accommodation. Brilliant, so confirming instructions and requirements. So by confirming these, it makes for an easy journey and stay, you will know where you are travelling from and where you are travelling to and when, allowing you to give yourself enough time to get there, and you can organise the appropriate documentation to be taken. Keeping records. It is good to keep records of your travel and accommodation, including destination, dates, costs, agencies and companies used. The reason for this is because you may want to be taxed, and if you cannot show that all these are towards the company expenses, then you will not be able to be liable for less tax there. It's also great for referencing, so cross-referencing. So you may want to use the same company, the same train travel, the same hotel again in the future, and having a record of this will make it easier to find out who they are. So if a trip was successful, you can use the same plan again for the next business trip, maintain the records and files to claim expenses, and especially if the meeting is recurring. So different types of travel and accommodation. So when you think about travel, we need to think about, is there a budget involved? So whether you travel via plane, train or sea, or by a car, make sure that person does have vehicle hire or personal vehicle. If they're traveling by sea, are they traveling with a car? Are they going across on a ferry? Are they just a passenger on their own? If it's train travel, are they going to travel standard or first class? And the same for plane travel. Accommodation, again, you need to make sure, is there a budget involved? In terms of the hotel, what facilities do they have? Is it convenient for short stays? Whether you need to book an apartment for them, so they can choose whether to eat or out, convenient for longer stays. And sometimes companies may use B&Bs. So these are bed and breakfasts, and it's choice of half board, so 2 meals, breakfast and dinner, and full board, which is 3 meals. So it's all about finding out what your organisation needs for these business travel and accommodation. We're now going to describe the features of hard copy and electrical copies of diary systems, to be able to explain the purpose of using these systems and describe the types of information needed to manage these diary systems, and to be able to explain the importance of obtaining correct information when making these entries. Brilliant. So having a diary system helps to see deadlines, allowing you to prioritise work that needs to be completed sooner. It helps to find and arrange dates when everyone is available, and it prevents organising conflict events. So you don't want to book a meeting and somebody else has already booked in a meeting, for example. That's what we mean by conflict events. The information needed for diary entries are the dates, times, location, attendees, and travel times. It is important to have the correct information when making an entry, especially if it is for many people. It ensures that deadlines are met and there are no conflicting events. Okay, so hard copies then is a single copy. It's handwritten and it's portable. It's hard to make changes. Often it's probably better writing in pencil rather than pen. And there is a limited space for these diaries. So electronic copies then, the benefits that you can share with others easily on over the internet and on PC. It's secure, so you need a login, and it's easy to change. You can just go on and change it there. It gives you reminders, so you can set reminders 15 minutes before the meeting, and you're also able to send invitations, and there's various viewing options. It also helps you highlight potential conflicts between appointments, entry on regular events, and less paper is used. It's password protected and multiple access is available, and there's on-screen reminders and database accountability. Requests for changes may appear to be relatively minor, but may have a knock-on effect which could have major implications. Delaying an appointment could cause the person attending the meeting to be late for, or even unable to attend, other meetings arranged for later that day. It is important, therefore, to check the effects that as requested a change it will have before agreeing to it. All relevant information have to be obtained because you must make sure that everyone attending the meeting or any appointment has convenience and are given the details so that there is no error at any time. Keeping a diary up to date when changes have been agreed is extremely important. You must make sure that you have deleted any cancelled appointments. It is both annoying and embarrassing to arrive for an appointment and be told that it has been cancelled, as well as being a waste of time. It is essential that you prioritise actions that you need to take in the event of receiving several requests or changes for arrangements at the same time. Obviously, the changes are probably best dealt with in a chronological order, so when they're coming. So the first one you deal with first, and so on. Also, everyone involved with the meeting must be contacted and made sure it is convenient for everyone before requests or changes are confirmed. Changes that affect appointments on the day that you receive the changes will need dealing with before the changes to the appointments or meetings in the future. Every person involved in the appointment must be given sufficient time for planning, especially for travelling and for other needs, so that the meeting goes well and smoothly without any problems for anyone. For a meeting to be successful, all of those involved must be present and have good sufficient preparation time. That is meetings there, well done. So now we are going to describe the different types of office equipment, explain the uses of different types of office equipment, describe the factors to be considered when selecting office equipment to complete tasks, and describe how to keep waste to a minimum when using office equipment. Brilliant. So in the office, we have furniture. So it increases morale and productivity of your employees, and it can also reflect the nature of your business. So depending on what furniture you use, so proper office chairs, for example, it makes sure that the employee is comfortable and they are more productive. A good internet connection contributes daily tasks. A lot of office equipment can connect to the internet. So you've got printers, scanners, laptops, phones, everything now is connected to the internet. Employees should be kept hydrated and satisfied with food and drinks. Offering employees free coffee or tea and water can help them stay focused and concentrate better. Effective communication is an essential tool for any business. Business mobile phones are the best solution for employees that are mobile. Photocopiers and printers are without a doubt essential office equipment within a business. And firstly, it's important to think about the size of your office. So if you only have a small office, you probably won't need an industrial size printer or copier. You need to think about office computer software in the office. It can include useful apps such as antivirus software, word processing software, and CRM systems. And it's a very important tool to protect devices from hackers and is reliable anti-software. So items like pens, paper, notebooks, and post-its and other essential office equipment need to be available for employees to work productively and effectively. Office supplies such as storage folders and USB flash disks and internal hard drives helps businesses keep everything organised and separate. Even though the technology is evolving and companies are operating online, paperwork is always going to be a part of any business. Collaboration tools like office boards are necessary office equipment. These tools make it easier to keep ideas within a company organised, and is the essence of collaboration is sharing knowledge and skills to achieve the best result. Office waste and recycling tools don't seem to be the first thing businesses need to consider when thinking about office equipment, but even though they need to think about this, even though it's not self-evident, it is very useful and beneficial for the business. Brilliant. What I want you to do now is just focus on this maths challenge. So once all the questions come up, pause this video, work out all of these questions for your maths challenge. So break from office equipment and diary management. Brilliant. Well done. I do apologise about that. Well done on completing that maths challenge. What you need to do now is watch these videos on office equipment. give you some insight on office equipment there. So watch these 2 videos, make some notes, and when you're done, move on to the next slide. Brilliant. So now we're going to look at the different types of mail services used within the business organisation. You'll be able to explain the need for different types of mail services. You'll be able to explain the factors to be considered when selecting mail services, and you'll be able to explain the factors to be considered when choosing postage methods. So what do we need to think about when we are using mailing systems within the business sector? So what we have here is some YouTube videos for you to watch as well. Mail services for businesses, from letters, communications to marketing mail, find the right way to send mail for your business. So you have a link here from the Royal Mail, which explains everything you need to know about sending mail via business. So what you need to do is log on to the link here, Royal Mail, and have a look at the different types of services offered to businesses and write these down. And to watch the YouTube videos also and make some notes. So pause this video and watch the YouTube videos and have an explanation on the Royal Mail website. Well done for completing that. So now it's time for you to complete a digital skills task. So what I'd like you to do is read what is on screen and then follow the bullet points and then make sure that you have your evidence in your folders for your assessor. So pause this video, take some time to read through the instructions and work your way through until you have the headset information document required. That's amazing work, everyone. You're working really hard today. So now we're going to move on to describe the different types of customers, to be able to describe the impact of your own behaviour on a customer and explain the impact of poor customer service. So we have loyal customers, and they make up the bedrock of any business. As the name implies, loyal customers are those who have made a commitment to your product or service. As an added bonus, they are far more likely to recommend your company to others. We have impulse shoppers, and these are people who are simply browsing products and services with no specific purchasing goal in place. This type of consumer is usually representative to upselling and has the potential to become a loyal customer if products and the services meet or exceed their expectations and desires. You may also have bargain hunters, and these are seeking the best deal, and they are most likely won't be swayed by upselling techniques. In fact, this may cause them to move on. This type of customer has very little potential to become a loyal customer unless it is part of your business strategy to offer the lowest possible price points at all times. Need-based customers. As the name implies, these consumers are driven by the need for a specific product or service. Although these customers generally make purchases decisively and quickly once they find what they are seeking, they are easily lured away by competing businesses. However, they are frequently converted into loyal customers. Brilliant, those are your different types of customers there. So we're just going to have a look at stakeholders. So stakeholders, broadly speaking, are any individual or organisation, both internal and external, that will be affected by the completion of a project within a business. This will not always be senior management, and identifying the most important stakeholders early on in the project lifecycle can help provide a framework for its progress. Common stakeholders include customers, shareholders, government agencies, regulators, the community, users, PR and marketing agencies, resource managers and staff. So remember, when you become an employee, you are becoming a stakeholder of the company. That's just a quick brief overlook of stakeholders. Brilliant. So we are now going to look at describing the impact of your own behaviours on a customer. So your personal presentation. How you appear to a customer is very important. The type of clothes you wear, whether your hair is clean and tidy, clean shoes, etc. And this will directly impact on your customer's impression of you. If your organisation doesn't provide uniforms, make sure you wear appropriate clothing and your appearance fits in within the dress code. You would not expect to see your doctor wearing overalls and a safety helmet, would you? So to be professional, you need to look the part, dress smartly and professionally. Attitude and approach. If the customer thinks you are not interested in serving them or cannot be bothered to give them help, this will give them a very bad impression of you. A positive approach and a willing and helpful attitude are important. So it's important to be professional at all times. Body language. Many people communicate with body language without even realizing it. The way you stand, whether you have a smile or frown on your face, even if you cross your arms or cannot send out a message to the customer, always have a smile on your face when you greet a customer, look them in the eyes and have a pleasant, friendly tone in your voice. When speaking to customers face to face, make sure that your body language is consistent with that you are saying to avoid sending mixed messages to customers. This simply means how well you get on with people, your interpersonal skills. Can you build a friendly relationship with them? Do they like talking to you? Do you listen or do you control the conversation? Are you relaxed or tense with them? If customers can relate to you, then they will be more likely interested in the products or services you are representing them. Okay, so if we do have poor customer service, it will get a bad reputation. Whether you choose to believe it or not, bad customer service can have a serious impact on the overall health of your business. In the short term, it can affect sales, and in the long term, it can affect your business in a load of different ways. For example, it can harm your brand, your reputation, and more. So what is poor customer service? Poor customer service happens anytime your business fails to meet a customer expectations. It could be the quality of a service your customer is receiving and how long it takes for you to answer their call, or just the overall experience with your brand. Brilliant. So that was a run through of bad customer service and how your impact can affect a business, especially within customer service. So what you need to do then is complete the Unit 3 assessment workbook and then send this to Tracy Turner. I look forward to seeing you in the next